Yes, I mean, I think you're right. But I think that's nothing new, is it? I mean, whether for this government or previous governments. I mean, the point is every time there's a crisis in the country, anything's happening, people are, particularly enthused about something. The government needs to show as if it's doing something, pretend to be doing something. And I think this is it. I mean, I think even in terms of the plans and proposals, we've not really seen what difference they even claim is going to make other than changing the title. I mean, and I'm really glad that you brought up this point because so many others obviously, ignored this or weren't aware of this, that in fact, these same people who hear these appeals were in fact originally adjudicators. So we just changed the title and now somehow we're bringing it back and we think, oh, that's going to, resolve all the problems. So no, I'm not really sure, even what they're trying to do here.
Well, the only thing I think they could be trying to do is a question of PR, that when you call people judges, people think of grand, bewigged figures with great authority, and that actually the number of adjudications that's done so large that not all of them are in that category. And so when you get some of these silly cases that get a lot of bad publicity for the migration question, if it's done by a judge, that sounds quite important. If it's done by an adjudicator, it just sounds like a little mistake. And I wonder if it's just the PR of it that matters.
I mean, I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure it is just the PR, but I'm not sure, the reason that you say is probably the reason. I mean, well, I really hope it's not something like that. But the point is, I mean, I think just generally, just taking a step back and looking at what they're doing and why they're trying to do it, considering everything that's been happening, the protests, the hotel, the injunction from the High Court last week, all of those things. And after all that, the lesson that the government seems to have learned is the judges that need to be reined in. It's the judges' fault. Let's blame the courts. Let's blame the judges. And I just don't understand, how any of that is supposed to help. If anything, for instance, they've said now, we read in some of the reports that they're potentially saying it might be a panel of adjudicators. So right now we have a single judge who hears most in the first-tier tribunal cases, and now it's going to be a panel. So in fact, we're going to need twice the number or thrice the number or four times the number of judges/adjudicators to hear those same cases. So I'm really not sure. Now we know how to tackle the backlog. So firstly, I mean, obviously, we're not talking about initial asylum decisions. We're talking about people who are refused asylum, then they appeal further. This is the review step. So if the Home Office and, between 50 to 60% of such cases every year are allowed, which basically means in more than half of the cases, the Home Office got their decision wrong. They refused where they should have granted. And I think that's the first thing. Why don't we train Home Office caseworkers better, recruit more Home Office caseworkers, just generally improve the Home Office caseworking system so we don't get so many decisions wrong. So that's where we need to start.